I hope you like my my improvised background. I think this is when it's packaged. Plastic leaks into the water. Okay, so there's an H. There's an H at the end of the date. If it's expiration or when it's packed, I don't know. But what does the H stand for? What does the CD stand for? Nestle is everywhere. What country is this again? Plastic pollution. How humans are turning the world into plastic.
Neutron stars are one of the most extreme and violent things in the universe. Giant atomic nuclei only a few kilometers in diameter,
dangerous,
but as massive as stars. And they owe their existence to the death of something majestic.
In a nutshell.
Stars exist because of a fragile balance. The mass of millions of billions of trillions of tons of hot plasma are being pulled inwards by gravity and
did you guys get a black
material
screen there, or
together
was it just
so much
me?
Force that nuclei fuse.
On the monitor that we
Hydrogen
were watching on.
fuses into helium.
You didn't.
This releases energy which pushes against gravity
got a 1 second
and
to
tries to
release
escape. As long as this
Bad
balance
cable or
exists, stars are pretty stable. Eventually, the hydrogen will be exhausted. Medium stars like our Sun go through a giant phase where they burn helium into carbon and oxygen before they eventually turn into white dwarfs. But in stars many times the mass of our Sun, things get interesting when the helium is exhausted. For a moment, the balance of pressure and radiation tips
How huge
and
is
gravity
this,
wins,
dude?
squeezing the star tighter than before. The core burns hotter and faster,
Our
while
brains
the
cannot
outer
even
layers of the
grasp
star
these
swell
things.
by hundreds of times, fusing heavier and heavier elements. Carbon burns to
grasp how
neon in
big this
centuries,
is.
neon to oxygen in a year, oxygen to silicon in months, and silicon to iron in a day. And then, death. Iron is nuclear ash. It has no energy to give and cannot be fused. The fusion suddenly stops and the balance ends. Without the outward pressure from fusion, the core is crushed by the enormous weight of the star above it.
How many
What
years?
happens now
How many
is-
years would it take for you to walk around the Earth, assuming you did not need to take breaks or anything, and you didn't have to eat or sleep? Like walk around the Earth in a normal walking pace. How long would that take? Three days, 1 day. Assuming you could walk on oceans and everything. Assuming you can walk on oceans. Assuming everything was just land, like a road that went around the Earth, right? What is the distance? I forgot the distance. Is basically what I'm asking. Around 9 years. That's 2 years. 2 years to walk around the Earth, and I'm just thinking, like, if you walk across the surface of this
Particles
one,
like electrons
you
and
wouldn't
protons
even
really
make
don't want to be near each other.
1%
But the pressure of the collapse
before
of
you're
the star
dead.
is so great
You wouldn't even make
that
1%
electrons
of the
and protons
distance before
fuse
you're
into
dead.
neutrons, which then get squeezed
Of
together
walking
as
around
tightly
this,
as in
this
atomic
fat
nuclei.
thing.
An iron ball the size of the Earth is squeezed into a ball of pure nuclear matter the size of a city. But not just the core, the whole star
so big,
implodes,
dude.
gravity pulling the outer layers in at 25% the speed of light. This implosion bounces off the iron core, producing a shock wave that explodes outwards and catapults the rest of the star into space. This is what we call a supernova explosion, and it will outshine entire galaxies. What remains of the star is now a neutron star. Its mass is around 1 million times the mass of the Earth, but compressed to an object about 25 kilometers wide. It's so dense that the mass of all living humans would fit into 1 cubic centimeter of neutron star matter. That's roughly 1 billion tons in a space the size of a sugar cube. Put another way, that's Mount Everest in a cup of coffee. From the outside, a neutron star is unbelievably extreme. Its gravity is the strongest outside black holes, and if it were any denser, it would become one. Light is bent around it, meaning you can see the front and parts of the back. Their surfaces reach 1 million degrees Celsius compared to a measly 6,000 degrees for our Sun. Okay, let's look inside a neutron star. Although these giant atomic nuclei are stars, in many ways they're also like planets with solid crusts over a liquid core. The crust is extremely hard. The outermost layers are made of iron left over from the supernova, squeezed together in a crystal lattice with a sea of electrons. Any denser, it will become one.
The light were going the wrong way.
Light is bent around it, meaning you can.
So the light that comes here bends like this. Oh wait, let's say that we are here, and then the light comes here. So we can see this area and this area, kinda. How does that work for our eyes if we can see both the front?
Their surfaces reach 1 million degrees Celsius
and the back
compared to a measly 6,000 degrees for our Sun.
Weird.
Okay, let's look inside a neutron star. Although these giant atomic nuclei are stars, in many ways they're also like planets with solid crusts over a liquid core. The crust is extremely hard.
Google it for a picture.
The outermost layers are made of iron left over from the supernova, squeezed together in a crystal lattice with a sea of electrons flowing through them. Going deeper, gravity squeezes nuclei closer together. We find fewer and fewer protons as most merge to neutrons, until we reach the base of the crust. Here, nuclei are squeezed together so hard that they start to touch.
Gnocchi Phase.
Protons and neutrons rearrange, making long cylinders or sheets, enormous nuclei with millions of protons and neutrons shaped like spaghetti and lasagna, which physicists call nuclear pasta. Nuclear pasta is so dense that it may be the strongest material in the universe, basically unbreakable. Lumps of pasta inside a neutron star can even make mountains, at most a few centimeters high, but many times as massive as the Himalayas. Eventually, beneath the pasta, we reach the core. We're not really sure what the properties of matter are when they're squeezed this hard. Protons and neutrons might dissolve into an ocean of quarks, a so-called quark-gluon plasma. Some of those quarks might turn into strange quarks, making a sort of strange matter with properties so extreme that we made a whole video about it. Or maybe they just stay protons and neutrons. No one knows for sure, and that's why we do science. That's all pretty heavy stuff, literally, so let's go back out into space. When neutron stars first collapse, they begin to spin very, very fast, like a ballerina pulling her arms in. Neutron stars are celestial ballerinas spinning many times per second. This creates pulses because their magnetic field creates a beam of radio waves which passes every time they spin. These radio pulsars are the best known type of neutron star, about 2,000 are known of in the Milky Way. These magnetic fields are the strongest in the universe, a quadrillion times stronger than Earth's after they're born. They're called magnetars until they calm down a little. But the absolute best kind of neutron stars are friends with other neutron stars. By radiating away energy as gravitational waves, ripples in space-time, their orbits can decay and they can crash into and kill each other in a kilonova explosion that spews out a lot of their guts. When they do, the conditions become so extreme that for a moment, heavy nuclei are made again. It's not fusion putting nuclei together this time, but heavy neutron-rich matter falling apart and reassembling. Only very recently, we've learned that this is probably the origin of most of the heavy elements in the universe, like gold, uranium and platinum, and dozens more. So then our two neutron stars collapse and become a black hole, dying yet again. Not only do stars have to die to create elements, they have to die twice. Over millions of years, these atoms will mix back into the galaxy, but some of them end up in a cloud which gravity pulls together to form stars and planets, repeating the cycle. Our solar system is one example, and the remains of those neutron stars that came before us are all around us. Our entire technological modern world was built out of the elements neutron stars made in eons past. sending these atoms on a 13 billion year journey to come together and make us and our world. And that's pretty cool. Until then, we can look at them on paper. The 12,020 Human Space Era calendar has arrived. You could order it now until we sell out, and then never again.
12,020.
Visit the cloudy cities of Venus, Dyson Swarm Assembly on Mercury, and cross the borders of our solar system.
Damn.
Shipping from the US and from Europe for the first time. But we deliver to every...
Limited edition, chat. The thing you said with the light being ready for a long time.
I donated a video in my last donation for Forsen Joy. UDIDN backquote he see it I think. So here it is Forsen Joy. Chat and Forsen, you both still look super handsome today, smiley face.
I haven't gotten there yet,
I
sir.
could go gay for both of you.
But I see it, yes. Oh, Psychtronics is... This is some programming shit. This looks horrible. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, it just looks not for me. Yeah, I don't think so. Not for me, at least.
The following video contains my attempt at simulating Dimitri's various psychedelic effects. Keyword being attempt. It is impossible to truly recreate the experience, meaning this is just an artistic rendition at its best. According to YouTube's guidelines shown here, videos about drugs with the intent to educate or which are created for artistic purposes that are not graphic and do not glorify drug use are eligible for monetization and pass all community guidelines.
This video does not display graphic use since no drugs are consumed within it,
and it does not glorify the use of drugs. What it does do is artistically demonstrate what a trip might be like, and it educates the viewer about the very real dangers of consuming psychoactive substances in the most non-biased way possible. Thank you.
Why did he say Dimitri? What? Who's Dimitri?
In the following scene, we take a first-person point of view look to help simulate and also to help reenact
could have buttoned that
what's
shirt
called
before.
the hallucinatory visual effects. However, even though we are filming this in a video game-like fashion, even though we are taking a first-person point of view, it must be made crystal clear that absolutely no drugs and no graphic use is being displayed in the following video. In fact, the only reason we are taking such a, I don't know, silly take on what the effects would be like, the only reason we're trying to actually reenact this is to increase the dramatic effect of the video and to fully cooperate with both YouTube's advertiser-friendly and community safety guidelines. We have employed the use of an empty hot sauce bottle as our makeshift pretend DMT pipe. In other words, this isn't a real pipe. This is a hot sauce bottle. And you know
I don't know what
think
DMT
you are
is.
really going to
What is
enjoy
the
what's to
casual
come.
name for
So,
DMT? Is it the shit in mushrooms or?
again, the following is a non-graphic dramatized reenactment. No drugs have been consumed in this video, and the intent is to educate the viewer on the very real and not
that's
often talked about
psilocybin.
dangers of psychedelic use, which are explained throughout my story. Thank you, and I'm super sorry for all of these necessary warnings. This is the last one, I promise. I'm not lying. Well, I don't promise I'm
DMT
not
is way
lying, but I do
stronger.
promise that it's not the last one. I
Wait,
mean, I promise
what
it is the last
drug
one. It is.
contains DMT that everyone knows the name of?
Welcome to Uganda.
Oh, it's the ayahuasca thing. Oh, yeah, this one we know. I played that fucking game and I knew about it before as well. The fucking thing you scrape off the tree thingy, right? Fucking vines thingies. Yeah.
Again, this is a non-graphic dramatized reenactment. Hence
Yeah,
the
okay, we get it. You want to monetize your video. Stop.
The noise you're hearing is someone just sucking in air, like this.
Really? They must have had someone take this and be like, yeah, this is what it looked like. This is accurate. Right? That's the only way they can actually know. Yeah, this is exactly what happened when I played Super Mario. But the other one went a little bit to the left. The third spiral. I doubt you fucking remember this shit, dude.
Moving forward. You're not supposed to laugh, you're ruining the scene. Moving forward, I am going to now intertwine animated visual replications as well as some artistic renditions with the telling of one of my most profound trip stories ever. I'd also like to point out that all of the animated effects that you'll be seeing throughout this video were created by either myself or the animator who goes by the name of DMT.
Breakthrough.
In total, this video has taken hundreds of hours of work to complete, and I've been working on it for over a month. In other words, if you guys want to see videos this crazy again, we 100% need your help on Patreon. And can you stop distracting me in the corner? You're dancing and I'm trying to record a video here. If you guys want to show your support, you can follow the link to the right to our Patreon page, or you can also find it in the video description. And stop dancing! This is a dance.
You guys think I'm stalling.
I need to let you guys know what my huge update is.
This is the stalling.
I am currently in the midst of building my own website, meaning I will finally have my own space that I can host all of the deleted content and more.
Now it's a super trip.
Meaning, if you missed the first two versions of this video, you will finally be able to watch them on my own site. And if it's anything like how my merch shop has been going, you can expect it to be completed within 5 or 10 years. But anyway, let's get back to the video at hand, if I'm capable of doing that. The following story is one which took place when I was living abroad, back when I was living in New Zealand, big shocker there, meaning that was during a time when I was exploring these substances, which I no longer explore because I clearly have way too many responsibilities. And also, what follows is my very final warning. This time, I do promise this is the last one. I need to make it crystal clear to all of you guys watching that I do not promote the use of psychoactive compounds. I'm being dead serious here, guys. These substances have the raw innate ability to seriously mess up your life if you take them at the wrong time and if you're not ready for what they have to show you. In other words, anybody out there who's watching this video and who might be curious to try these substances for themselves, well, you need to A, not follow in my footsteps, B, learn from my mistakes, and C, just proceed with as much caution as possible, meaning do as much research as you can and always test every substance before you intend to consume it. Alright, now I am actually done for real. I hope you guys all enjoy the following story.
Test every subject before you intend to consume it? What?
Let's just jump right to the part of the story where I'm about to take my first ride on the roller coaster. So I grabbed a chair, sat it down right in front of my mirror, grabbed my pipe, grabbed my baggie of DMT, took a handful of it, sprinkled it right into the metal mesh in the neck of the bottle, took my lighter, let it all melt in, lit it up, took a big hit, exhaled, watched as things started to get brighter and that buzzing noise kicked in. I could hear it in the back of my head, rising in intensity. Took another big hit, exhaled some more mothballs. Next thing I know, I was getting sucked out of my body. I just remember the noise just raised higher and higher in frequency and pitch and just I was in this space, and it was unlike normal reality. It's indescribable what it was. It was filled with unimaginable
Reported
geometry.
his channel for promoting drug
creatures
use.
there.
Easy clap.
There were entities, there were beings, and I was surrounded by them. And these beings weren't evil by any means. They weren't demons or evil aliens. They were actually very benevolent. In fact, they greeted me as if I was family, and they welcomed me into their world. I felt like I had gone home. I mean, it seems crazy saying that, but It felt like it was a place that I had been to before. I felt
Christ
like I
almighty, who
knew
donated this
beings
budget fee
intimately.
sauce garbage? Where did you find this dono in?
Budget
The
free
YouTube
sauce.
trending page on incognito mode in California. OMEGALUL.
Incognito in California. That seems pretty accurate though. I always wonder when people say they have out-of-body experience and they see themselves, right? Like if I were to just, without looking now,
Welcome to Uganda.
tell you what I looked like and what I was wearing. Now I'm thinking about what I'm wearing, right? But when they have an out-of-body experience, do they wear the same things? Do they remember exactly what they have on? What socks they have? If you were to ask yourself, how do I look like, right? How do I look like? Would you be able to exactly draw? It's kind of hard because you see yourself less than like probably other family members or whatever if you live at
I
home.
have a vid for you.
No, don't send me more videos. Jesus Christ.
It was
I wonder
as
how
if
accurate
just
your own
met
representation is
them.
if you take these drugs and
Families
go out
I
of
didn't
body
even
or
know I
whatever they
had.
want to
Upon
say.
seeing them and being greeted by them and just being in their presence and being in this new world, it was as if it all just came rushing back like a freight train. All this knowledge and these memories that I didn't even know I had were just all of a sudden back as if I never lost them. And the interesting part about this experience is when that happens, all of your memories and everything you know about this reality,
Welcome to Uganda.
it's gone. It's as if this reality no longer exists. This world, who you are here right now, your ego, your sense of self, Adam as I knew him, was dead. It's like when you're there, you're there. That probably makes very little sense to a lot of you guys watching, but that's what it's like. So anyway, I was with them and they all thought that whatever I was doing in this dimension was crazy. Why did you have to go and do that? I know that you think you have a mission to uphold and fulfill, but you know that it's whack, right? Like, what you should be doing is, you should be here with us. But you demanded that you were going to go and do this thing, and now we're all just like, why is he doing that? And even you think it's stupid. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty stupid. Even though they thought that my mission in this reality was dumb, they still insisted that I left. I mean, I didn't want to leave them. I kept saying to them, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you guys. Like, I'm not going back to that. That place is scary. Crazy shit happens there. Like, unimaginable terrors happen there. Keep me with you. Don't let me go back. But they insisted. They were like, no, it's fine. You have to do that. Like, we have no say in this. You are going back. But don't worry. They made this very clear. You will return to us. And the next thing I knew, I was getting sucked back to my body. I remember sitting on that chair, slowly opening my eyes, looking at my reflection in the mirror, looking over at Chris, who was sitting on the bed, kind of just looking at me wide-eyed, anticipating what I was going to tell him happened while I had been away on my little vacation, and all I could say was, I need to go back. So I grabbed the pipe, I grabbed the baggie of DMT, I sprinkled another unknown amount onto it, grabbed my lighter, took one big hit, and that was all it took, and then...
Hey chat. Sorry you don't backquote he liked the video, but this guy promotes harm reduction and tells about his experiences. Not trying to glorify any drug use, but I have done multiple times.
Welcome to Uganda.
And it is very similar to what you saw. Sorry, this video is subjective.
Yeah, this is what you saw. This is what you saw.
I got sucked right back through that wormhole, and there I was, back with my DMT brethren. And I don't really remember anything that happened at this point. I just remember that I was there, and then next thing I know, I'm opening my eyes, back in the seat, and I'm still not ready to be back in normal reality. And Chris is looking at me, and he's like, hey man, you done? You want to hang out some more? I'm just like, no, there's more for me there. I haven't learned what I need to learn yet. So I grabbed the pipe, grabbed the baggie of DMT, sprinkled some more on top, lit her up, sucked in big, exhaled, and... Before I know it, again, I'm back back in the DMT world. And this process of coming back and then going back there happened, I think, 2 or 3 times. It wasn't anything too crazy. And it wasn't that I just really wanted to get high. I mean, that wasn't it at all.
Yeah. Kappa. Alright, well, Microsoft, go suck a fat dick. Neil Agrest around on the stream says, hey Mr. Force, when you play some game, can you change music back to default track? Thanks. What? No. It's easy for Ense. What are you talking about? MOLEK-SYNTEZ on the stream says,
hey chat donator here. I can't believe I got you all to watch some trash video about a bald guy trying to show off his arms as much as possible. LULW.
Them disco workout sessions paying off. True. MOLEK-SYNTEZ on the stream says, what are these trash videos? Watch the 2 new Wakaliwood movie trailers. Oh yeah, I didn't watch those actually. I don't know what they're called. First link was a T-series link.
Wow, what a great video. It made me decide to go on a mission to find this DMT substance. Feels amazing, man. Feels amazing. Man.
Kapitano.
Welcome to Uganda.
This one is 10 months old. This is not the new one. Yeah, I'm looking at upload date. This is the only one I find. Kapitano. 10 months ago.
Welcome to Uganda.
I can't find any newer.
Welcome to Uganda.
Raising native, aka Summer Summer.
Yes, okay. Kakati na moni nere kuletende ndana yino. Welcome. Another one from Wakaliwood. Kapitano the movie. Asoma tulekere kana mkachoni nyo. Sitoba ngonyumirwa teke. Wadama hukirudi Captain Alexi. Nakatulese Kapitano. Bless you. Kududu. The action is nani? Stop it. Dragon Lady. Movie on coming soon. Kachitoba ngonyumirwa teke. There would be sense. Okuva mu film nga Animulalu, The Crazy World. Ensawo eriwa. Kicha kiri mu nsawo. Buli omu wali agala nsawo. Ensawo efuse ensawo. Eyimbuta bawanvu n'abampi. Kiri mu yino tugiraba. Nagambye Roman Film Production. Rapid gunfire. Kasira Johnny Bosco. Mulete bonna. Kino kisaana bonna siboka.
The police, the police.
Sikia sauti. Labo muliro. Mulira mundu. Tina Uganda watu. Ili muyino.
What the fuck is happening, dude?
Ensawo bagigani dem. Ensawo efuse ensawo. Ensawo efuse ensawo. Bagala ensawo yo. Atenga nseko tozirina. Kwata ensawo. Leta ensawo afunye ensawo amepilipisa. The action is non-stopping. Kopa. Kapitano movie. Tedi ku coming soon. Matundiro ga filimu na mugwanga katiweri. Nyensawo. Bakonsawo. Teke. Super kicker. Gambia chikoma no non-stopping. Kapitano. You know. Dragon Lady. Bagaransawo.
Dragon Lady.
Sawa ya kumenya chiri munsawo. Wamatugabane chiri munsawo. Bali no gabane ekiri mu nsawo. Geno no yafulumye dda abe natete mu Movie Center ku kizimbe kya Samuna.
What's happening, actually? Alright, Retardino, don't try, watch this. You might learn something. Dude, this is 30 minutes, man. I can't watch this. It sounds interesting though. Very.
If you want to learn about it, look at this.
I said no more links. What the fucking. So Wikipedia, speed of gravity. Oh shit! Look at that. Where's the short answer? I don't want to read all this. I just wonder if there's gravity that has a pull faster than light. The speed of gravitational waves in the general theory of relativity is equal to the speed of light in a vacuum. Within the theory of special relativity, the constant c is not exclusively about light. Instead, it is the highest possible speed for any interaction in nature. Formally, c is conversion factor for changing the unit of time to the unit of space. This makes it the only speed which does not depend either on the motion of an observer or a source of light and or gravity. Thus, the speed of light is also the speed of gravitational waves and any massless particle. So, c is also gravitational pull. So it is equally fast. No and yes. Got a bunch of fucking scientists in here. Nothing is faster than light. I didn't say that. I said that c is also gravitational pull, which is the same as light. You can't go over the speed of light. In a vacuum. It says here, but then there's probably super special relativity where there's exceptions or something. I don't fucking know. All I know is that when I hear all these things, I'm surprised that nothing, because the universe is so big, right? That nothing has like happened. That things doesn't happen constantly that affects us. We're kind of like in a safe little bubble. It feels like, but when I see all these thingies, there should be at least one thing in an infinite space that can affect us, like without us even reacting. But it's called luck. I guess with infinite possibilities, there is one planet with infinite luck, and winning 1 million coin flips in a row, maybe that's us. Maybe we won 1 million coin flips in a row, you know, with our precision and shit. You can't grasp the amount of space there is. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so weird. Because we cannot even grasp how much space there is. But yeah. Alright. Enough brain twisters. Let's play some little fucking games. I'm sorry for the links, but I said already no more links. My brain is fried. From all the theory crafting.